because we have a few people here who have not read the book. Lisa's read the book, you've read the book, you've read the book. You haven't, okay? Just to give you a bit of background on it, the book covers the sexual abuse by my father, biological father, from the ages of 11 to 12 to around 23. For a lot of people, this is hard to understand. How come a girl that age would allow something like that to go on for so long? The book will explain that to you, how that happens. And to do that, I have made sure that I began at the beginning, so it begins when I'm a child, so you can get a feel for the control that my father had over me as a very young child, the horrendous fear I had of my father, which those who have been sexually abused will identify with 100%, because that control, that power, that fear is a huge part of the whole thing and how it happens. So, pardon me? It does.
It's the glue, like you can't, and you can't come out of it. You think you deserve it, right?
That's right, you do, and you get to that point where you feel, yes, this is my fault, I deserve it, and you know, and you just keep on letting it happen, and so you do, and you need something that will get you out of there, and that something can be very hard to find. So that's what the book covers, and it will move through adolescence. It's a very graphic book. I haven't spared anything in there. The language is the language he leveled at me, what he called me.
But it's well done, though. You
really... Thank you. But I'm letting you know that if you're going to buy the book and read it, be prepared for that, okay? The scenes depicted are graphic. My husband hasn't read it. I don't think I want him to, and I know he doesn't want to. He's probably the one person that I'm not sure I could handle it if he read it. Because let's face it, to be totally blunt, he knows me intimately sexually inside out. How does he cope with the thought that somebody else did? Okay? That's rough. You know, it's got nothing to do with how I felt about it. I know how I felt about it. You who have read my book know how I fought it and how I felt about it. But does he understand that?
Right.
You know?
Or you would feel perhaps that your dad is doing it all over again.
And for a long time when I first got together with John, there was that. There was definitely that connection that like, okay, this is a man, you have to please him, that's your job, you know, and I approached it that way. He doesn't realize that that was going on in my head, but that was going on in my head. But we're not going there, because that's not part of my plan. Let's get back to my plan. Now, so I'm just trying to give the others a bit of a background on the book there, that if you do get it, prepare yourself for that. I won't spare your feelings. I will tell you the blunt, honest truth. Till now, we've had wonderful reviews of the book. I've been absolutely thrilled. It's getting 5-star ratings all over the place. People think it's great. They've even told me I can write, and I think, gee, really? That's good? I didn't know I was that good a writer. That's very flattering, right? And they told me they can't put the book down. They read it in 2 nights. Then we get Mary, who takes about 3 months. That's okay. I understand that. But that's because Mary can relate to it, because this is Mary's story too, right? And that's harder if you've gone through that. But at the same time, it hasn't all been sweet. I've had a couple of detractors, and I want to talk about that tonight, okay? And that's where you girls are going to come in here. Because it's not so much detractors. One lady gave me a 4 out of 5, and she said the book was really good, and I really enjoyed it. Well, you can't enjoy a book like that, but you know, she read it, got a lot out of it. But she said, for me, she said there should have been some help given in there. I needed advice. I'm a victim of abuse. I would have liked to have seen the book. Give me advice on how to get over this, okay? Right. The other person who criticized the book, her review isn't printed anyway. She wrote a big thing to me personally. And she said, I don't know how you're going to take this, but she is a sexual abuse victim, and she, according to her, she is one of the worst cases of sexual abuse ever anywhere. It went to court. Well, you know, everybody's case is terrible. It all depends on the individual. Some take it worse, some take it better. So that's a hard point to make. But she said that she too has written a book, which I've read and I enjoyed. But she, in her book, gave absolutely no detail about anything. And her criticism of my book was, why did you have to put in all that gore, all those words, all the details of what happened, etc., etc. She said, we don't need to read that. What we need to read is books that heal other people, therapy, that type of a thing. And I thought, oh, jeepers.
So you can't until you get out of
then you get it out.
Then you
Exactly.
get it out.
That's
right.
Exactly.
And
So,
it's
you know, but I had to sit back and think about that, and I thought, should I have done that?
No.
And I analyzed myself, and I have my reasons, and I'm going to share those with you. But before I do, I'm going to call on you ladies who have read the book. And a couple of you are victims of incest and sexual abuse. So you can come at it from an angle that is similar to my angle. Did I step too far in giving those graphic details? Was it too gory? Should I have offered therapy in the book? What did I do wrong? I want your feedback on this. Mary?
You make me go first.
Victim number one. Mary and I are going to do a seminar in a little while in Toronto. She's going to have to get up